What's up? What's happening, everybody at Shady Sports Network? My name is Justin Arth, current NFL, CFL, USFL, XFL free agent quarterback. Recently played with the Tucson Sugar Skulls. I'm here to break down some of the quarterback play, or all the quarterback play rather, for the USFL championship game that happened this past weekend. First thoughts, I think all four quarterbacks overall played well, but a lot of it is going to be subject to interpretation. But me, as a professional quarterback myself, I wanted to go ahead and, for Sam, break down everything to the best of my ability in the limited amount of time that I've got to do it. But wanted to break everything down so you guys understand more from a professional quarterback's point of view, who was good, who was bad, and why the game happened the way that it did. But also wanted to plug my social medias and all that. Obviously, with me being a professional quarterback, I've got social medias, and with me trying to get in and stay into the NFL, definitely need all the support possible. So go drop me a follow on Instagram, JArthQB11, on Twitter, JustinArthQB, on YouTube, Justin Arth. I do some YouTube videos. I'm behind on some editing, but we'll get there. But then also I've got A11performance.com, got my own personal brand website there that you can find all things quarterbacking, and other things that are coming soon to the website. But then you can also find me on my Facebook page, a professional athlete page, Justin Arth, and go support the journey. We're very close to making it into the NFL. I was hoping to be in the USFL this year, but things just hadn't worked out just yet. So just kind of scratching and clawing my way to get there. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the game. And I'm going to make it very quick, very short, and only talk about a couple plays. I've got the extended highlights pulled up here on my phone just so I can look at it as I'm talking to y'all. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about the quarterback play. And first, I wanted to talk about the Birmingham Stallions, the champion Birmingham Stallions. I think overall, the Stallions did really well in terms of quarterback play. I mean, I think J'Mar Smith did an amazing job with extending plays, especially in that first half, and making something out of nothing. There were plays in particular like that big third down conversion where he's flushed to his right and threw a pass on the run and made a diving, and the receiver made like a diving over the shoulder type catch. I think that's just a glimpse of what J'Mar Smith can do, and he's an amazing athlete. But the way that zone reads and stuff were called, and he did a great job at reading those zone reads, he didn't really take off and run that much. It was kind of more of a Russell Wilson-esque style play where he was using his legs to move around and figure out throwing lanes to get his receivers a chance with the ball, which I think is massive improvement out of J'Mar Smith from the little bit that I've watched the USFL this year. But the one knock I do have on J'Mar, which affected him in the second half and obviously took a touchdown away early, was every time he misses high. He's a guy that wants to rip it, catch, set, rip it, and he's got an extremely strong arm, but with quarterbacks like that, accuracy can sometimes be an issue. And with J'Mar, unfortunately missed a touchdown and missed some other throws because he misses high. That's where he tends to miss. But again, if you're going to miss high, it's incomplete rather than missing low or short and that being interception. But then we move on to Alex Magoo. He came in because of the injury, and I thought he did really well. I mean, 7 of 10, 77 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and 4 carries. I mean, I think he did everything that Stallions fans would want him to do, especially into leading that comeback with the help of the Stars kind of collapsing a bit after their amazing comeback in the beginning of the second half. But I do want to talk about the star of the show, Case Cookus, and let Cookus cook. So if we talk about him, I want to go ahead and pull up some plays in the first half. I mean, Case Cookus ripped that touchdown that would have tied the game if the kicker wouldn't have missed the extra point. They're sitting in man coverage, nice little 1-2 shuffle, hitch and go by the receiver on the outside. Perfect throw into the back pylon, right into the bucket of the receiver number 2. But that's a perfect ball. But if you really look at, and that was in the second quarter, but if you look at what Case was doing in the first half, Philadelphia really got behind the downs. And so what we talk about in terms of getting behind the downs is on first down, we call a pass, it's incomplete, now it's 2nd and 10, instead of a nice little short completion to get us 2nd and 6 or things like that. Being a little too greedy. And I feel like Case can definitely work on that. But at this point, we're just splitting hairs, especially with how well that he did perform. But in the first half, he did a really good job with getting the ball to playmakers in space, but he needed to be bigger on your 3rd and your 4th downs to keep drives alive and keep them moving. And the reasoning for that was I was seeing some issues deciphering blitzes and knowing where your hots are. So Case can obviously see that there's 6 guys bringing pressure, but what he wasn't able to do was he wasn't able to adjust the running back or wasn't able to adjust the play to get receivers into quicker, shorter routes to where he could catch, set, throw, get that ball out to a receiver in open space and then fight for the yardage for the first down, or run right to the sticks and you've got a first down on a nice easy catch when the defense is pinning their ears back and bringing 6 or 7. But I think overall that's where Case kind of struggled in the first half, but he got a lot better in the second half, and that is the reason why they came back. And it was more just because of how well Case was playing. So Case was in rhythm. He was getting the ball to playmakers in space, and he started being greedy when the defense would allow him to be greedy, as opposed to being greedy early on just to take shots. So Case did an outstanding job in the game. Unfortunate that the injury occurred, which took him out of the game, which led to KJ Costello coming in. But I still think it's a championship performance. I wish him the speediest of recoveries. I mean, 2 touchdowns to Jordan Sewell in the game, or maybe even 3. It's kind of forgetting my memory here, but the play that he made in the third quarter, running around for over 5 seconds and diving into the back of the end zone to throw one to Jordan Sewell, that's an outstanding play, moving his feet around. And then as well as then in the fourth quarter, the nice little touchdown on the glance route to number 7, Devin Gray. I mean, that's a nice in-rhythm throw, 3-step drop, hitch up, fire them right there, and then big plays here on third down, or on that 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter to go up by 3. I think Case had an outstanding game. It's just unfortunate that he had the injury, but we look at Alex Magoo. I think he played extremely well too, threw a beautiful back shoulder fade for the Stallions to get him back on top and kept everything in rhythm. But now I want to talk about the hot topic of everybody, that being KJ Costello. And so everyone wants to talk about that last interception. Sam and I have kind of had some conversations over Twitter about the same thing, about where could have been some receivers open in the flats down at the bottom of the field. I'll talk about that one in a second, but I do want to talk about the first interception. So I've got the film pulled up now. From what I can see, they're bringing 6. They're bringing 6. And so you've got to be able to find your hot here, which was something that Case struggled with as well, which could be what could be Philadelphia Stars coaching. But they bring the corner on the outside. The running back or the left tackle's got to make that call, saying that corner's coming. The corner comes, running back does pick it up, and that's all good. And they're sitting, playing what we call one hole. So you've got the linebacker just kind of sitting in coverage, and then you've got a rover that's kind of sitting around playing that one coverage, that one kind of cloud coverage, but more has this kind of cloud coverage where he could just kind of move around and do what he wants. But pressure from the right side gets KJ in a situation where he's feeling like he's got to throw his hot, which is this drag coming across the field, he's trying to make this throw here without getting his ankle eye set or without even stepping up in the pocket. If I look here at the 3-minute 1 second mark, right as that pressure is getting to him, he's got enough room to step up in the pocket, protect that football, step up and get around, and then get his ankle eye set to hit that receiver on that 1 yard drag route, and then allows him to run and get 5 or 6, and that's on first down. So you get 5 or 6 on first down, we're sitting 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, and we're sitting really good, sitting really pretty. But KJ decides, hey, I got to get this ball out, which I've been in situations like that too. He didn't make a bad read. He got the ball to the receiver that needed, or he chose the right receiver to get the ball to. But because his ankle eye wasn't set, he threw directly behind the receiver and directly into the receiver's or the linebacker's chest that was haunting him in coverage, and pick 6. I mean, in reality, that's the interception I look at that gave Birmingham 1, momentum, but 2 is probably KJ's worst play of the game. When I look at that big balls throw that he threw, taking a shot, floating one up into the back corner or in the back middle of the end zone for the catch for the touchdown to get it within 3 again. That's an amazing play. They brought the blitz, knows he's going to take a shot. They're playing cover 0 and made an outstanding play over the top to Roland. But since everybody wants to talk about it, we can definitely talk about this last interception. But I think what put the Stars in an even worse situation was this 4th and 12 with 1:43 left. You're going empty. You can see that they are going to be playing a version of cover 1 or cover 3 based on defensive alignment. Yep, so they'll end up playing cover 3. Number 25 here comes untouched from the defense. And it's taken a second for me to get back to it because, again, I'm using YouTube, guys. So, but 25 comes on the pressure again from the outside. The right tackle doesn't call it, but KJ's got to know that that's coming because that safety was stacked on top of him, and that's a tell that a corner's going to blitz if you've got a safety stacked right on top of a corner. So this cornerback, number 26, comes straight on a blitz, coming straight down KJ's throat. KJ sees it, throws it into the middle of the field, which is dangerous in itself, but he throws it behind. It's off time, off rhythm, and floats one up there, and he's lucky that it's not intercepted and that it's dropped for an incomplete pass. But it's got to start with blitz recognition and being able to put your team in the best case scenario. So I think that's 2 bad plays from KJ, and everything else I think is something that you can live with, and I think he actually played fairly well. But let's go ahead and talk about this very last interception. So we've got essentially two deep ins and 2 outs called. KJ gets flushed. It starts moving around, and at this point you've got 22 seconds left in the game. You've got no timeouts, and you're down by 3. So yes, you can go take the flat route. In my case, I'm probably taking pre-snap, and yes, we could talk about in hindsight, but in pre-snap, I'm looking at that receiver I'm looking at that receiver side to the right, because we both got an in cut from the outside and an arrow route or an out route or speed out, whatever you want to call it, to the right side here, and but you've also got numbers and leverage. If you look over to the left-hand side when you're looking at the play yourself, you've got a linebacker, a safety, and 2 corners. You've got 4 over 2, and then you've got 3 over 2 on the right side if you're looking from an offensive strength side. So you sit here, and the safety is over 15 yards back, so you know in this type of concept he's not going to be involved in the play where you've got an in cut and a speed cut out. And so they're running right at the markers. And the thing is, KJ even looks to the right side. That ball's got to be out to that ball's got to be out now to that flat route on the right side. You catch it, get a first down, and you move forward. But I do understand that KJ gets then pressure and gets thrown off his spot. But the pressure when the ball needs to be out isn't there enough for him to be able to get off that route and move. So, in my opinion, ball's got to be out to the right-hand side flat, and Sam, you're right, there is one flat open. But let's just say that pressure gets there and he didn't see him because of where the pressure is, and you get flushed. That's one mistake. So then KJ starts moving around, and clock's already ticking. You've got 22 seconds left. I have no issue with him throwing the ball downfield the way that he did. He's just got to be able to deliver a better ball. With that particular play call, you're not in a great situation anyway if you've got to make something with your feet. It didn't look like he even had room to even run because one of the corners comes straight at him. So it kind of puts him in a bad situation, but he kind of put himself in a bad situation with not being able to identify and throw that out very early on in the play. So I do think overall, quarterback play was very good in the USFL championship game. Overall, as a season, I feel like there's been some guys that have extended and built stock for themselves, but others that weren't very good as well. And that's where I say, hey, USFL, you should have gave me a shot. But no, I do think quarterback play in this game was really good. Of the four, KJ obviously played the worst. But again, it's only 3 bad plays, and 2 of them are game altering, or all 3 are game altering plays, but 2 of them are game altering interceptions, with 1 being a game altering turnover. So I think for KJ, he's just got to play better and smarter on big downs, like your 4th downs, and plays that you need to be able to make a play with short amount of time, the 2-minute drill type plays. But Case was definitely a star of the show, and I think Birmingham, both quarterbacks did what they had to do, and they deserve to be champions. So with that being said, that's your boy Justin Arth here. Make sure you follow me on all the socials that I plugged earlier, and then definitely keep an eye on my journey, because we're talking to some teams, and we're going to make something happen with my guys over at Tom House Sports, and Tom House specifically. But then everything that I'm doing business-wise as well. So keep an eye on it. God bless you, and have a good day.